In this video lecture, we are going to cover the topic of time value of money, which is Zoom session number 4. This is your reference book, Fundamentals of Financial Management, and time value of money is covered in chapter number 5 of this book. These are your objectives. So in today's lecture, we will discuss number 1, what is a timeline? Then number 2, what is simple and compound interest? Future value, present value, and lastly calculation of R and N. But before we go into these objectives, we will first talk about the topic itself, time value of money. So what can you understand by just looking at the heading? You can see that we have the word time and we have the word money, and also the word value over here. So basically, time value of money says that when you get money is just as important as how much money you get. Okay, so this is supposed to be a much. Okay, how much money is just as important. Now let's look at a simple example to understand this. So I'm going to open a note for that purpose. Okay, so let's assume this 0 represents right now, this 1 represents 1 year later, and this 2 represents 2 years later. So I might give you the option that if you want, you can take 100 rupees from me right now, or if you want, you can wait for 1 year and I will give you 109 rupees. Or if you want, if you can wait for 2 years, and I will actually give you 120 rupees. Now if you're just interested in the amount, you will say, okay, the 120 amount is the largest amount, so I'm going to go for this. But according to time value of money, when you get the amount is just as important. So this 100 over here, let's assume that it can be invested at the 10% rate. Now if this 100 is given to you now, you can invest it at the 10% rate. So if you're going to invest it at the 10% rate, you will get an interest of 10. So this value after 1 year later, this will become 100 plus 10, which is 110. So in year 1, you will actually get a value 110. If you take this amount right now, it is actually better than taking 109 1 year later, because you will be losing 1 rupees over here. Similarly, this 110 can be invested at the 10% rate once again. So again, now you will get an interest of 11, and this amount will become 110 plus 11, 121. So you will get 121 over here. So now if you compare the three options, if you take 100 now, you can invest it at the 10% rate and it will become 110 1 year later. You will get an interest of 10 rupees, which is actually better than option number 1 of getting 109 rupees. Similarly, the 110 can be reinvested again at the 10% rate and you will get a total amount of 121 at year 2, which is better than taking 120 2 years later. So if you're just concentrated on how much is the amount, option 2 might seem to be the best option. But if you consider that time itself has value, because the sooner you get the amount, you can always invest and earn more money from it. So if that is the case, then this 100 actually has more value, because if you invest it at the 10% rate, you will get 121 at the end of year 2. So coming back over here, so time value of money, to sum it up, says that when you get the amount is just as important. Now there are primarily two reasons for that. The first reason is inflation. Inflation is the persistent rise of prices in the economy. So as everything in the economy becomes more expensive, automatically the value of money starts to decline, because the purchasing power of money starts to decline. In order to explain this, I will just give you a simple example. Usually in everybody's homes, you heard your parents talking about that हमारे ज़माने में तो पैसे में हम ये ख़रीद लेते थे, और या फिर आने में हम ये ख़रीद लेते थे. नाउ 8 आने की तो मतलब कि कॉइन ही नहीं रहा है. Similarly, even your 5 rupees coin, your 1 rupees coin no longer has any value. You can purchase very few things from it. At that time, in 1 rupees, you could actually purchase a lot of stuff. So with value, due to inflation, the purchasing power of money actually declines. So if I give you 1 lakh rupees right now, it is going to have more value than 1 lakh rupees 10 years from now. Because from the 1 lakh rupees right now, you can purchase a lot of things, but you might not be able to purchase the same amount of things from the 1 lakh rupees 10 years later, because everything will be more expensive 10 years later. So the first reason is inflation, and the second reason is, sorry, I was going to write something else, so I'm going to erase this. Yes, the first reason we discussed is inflation, and the second reason that when you get money is important is because of opportunity cost. Money always has an opportunity cost related to it. Actually, any decision has an opportunity cost related to it. Whenever you decide, so opportunity cost is the cost of the next best alternative that is foregone. So if we look at over here, that means that if you get, instead of taking money right now, if you're taking money, let's say 5 years later, then the opportunity cost over here is the amount of money you could have earned if you could have gotten the 5 lakh rupees right now and then invested that amount. So in the example that we have done previously, if you would not have taken the 100 rupees right now, the opportunity cost would have been that you would have lost the 21 rupees of profit, and your balance would not be 121 rupees. Then instead, you would have had 120 rupees at the end of year 2 if you would have selected option number 2. So whenever you have money right now in your hand, it is actually better. So in short, 100 rupees right now has more value than 100 rupees later on, 2 years later or something like that.